Hi there, friends. This is Storm Runners The Surge. We're in the second quadrant, the third part of the second quadrant. We're reading this with permission by Scholastic. It's 6:09 a.m. And I wonder which group of people we're going to start with in this episode. Brutus, Nicole said. He's been on the farm longer than I have. Has he ever mauled anyone? Chase asked. No, Nicole said, I'm not saying we should walk up and scratch his belly, but he's not aggressive. He's not in his cage either. Brutus is more afraid of us than we are of him. Speak for yourself. So Chase is saying, I'm more scared of him. Brutus didn't look the least bit afraid. He had managed to loosen the corner of one of the metal panels and was trying to tear it off the wall. Why didn't he just walk through the open door, Chase thought. Maybe Brutus isn't as bright as he is big. Do you think he'll get the panel off? Nicole asked. Chase shook his head. The panels are attached with long bolts screwed into treated posts. For the time being, he's not going anywhere unless he knows how to open a door. Which reminds me, who opened the door? I've been thinking about that. It had to be Hector. How does a leopard open a door? It's a bar handle on the inside. All he'd have to do is jump up and give it a swipe with his paw. Lucky swipe, Chase said. Maybe not. What do you mean? Well, Hector is smarter than your average cat. He's a watcher. He's seen me come in and out through that door hundreds of times. I think he's been waiting for his opportunity. What do you think? Do you think the cat is that smart? I've seen cats. My mother had a cat that would climb up a brick wall by spreading his arms and legs and just shimmying up the brick wall. So I think the cat could do it. What do you think? Chase shined his headlamp in Hector's cage. The door was closed, but the chain-link fence was hanging down. How'd that happen? Nicole pointed at the bear cage. The door was gone. I'd say that Brutus managed to tear his door off, probably in a panic from the sound of the wind. He must have torn into the chain link on Hector's cage. Chase glanced back at the door they'd walked through. You think Hector has figured out how to open it from the outside? Nicole shook her head. It's a twist knob on the outside. As long as Hector isn't in here, we're safe. Except for the bear, Chase said. 6:12 a.m. Rashawn broke off a flake of hay and threw it to the elephant. Pet picked the flake up with her trunk and tossed it over her back. I guess she's not hungry, Rashawn said. Mama Rossi smiled. She's been off her feed for days. We're just giving her food to keep her mind off her discomfort and the wind. Pet yanked on the chains around her left front ankle and right rear ankle. It doesn't look like it's working, Rashawn said. A far-off look clouded Mama Rossi's face. What's wrong? Rashawn asked. Mama Rossi didn't answer. Her distant expression deepened. Mama Rossi? Rashawn glanced over at Pet. The elephant was standing perfectly still for the first time since they'd stepped into the barn. She was staring at Mama Rossi as though she could see right through her. Are you okay, Mama Rossi? Rashawn tried to stay calm, hoping the old woman wasn't having a stroke or something. Can you hear me? Is anyone home? Earth to Mama. Mama Rossi blinked, and then she sighed and said, That was a strong one. She looked a little wobbly, almost as if she might collapse. Rashawn rushed forward and took her arm. Is it your heart? Oh, no, dear, it isn't my heart. It was, well, for lack of a better word, it was a premonition. You mean you had a vision? Well, vision is too clear of a word. It's more like a flash of insight. What did you see? It's too early to tell. It takes a while for my old brain to catch up with the sight and define it. Are Chase and Nicole all right? I think I'd know if they weren't. I didn't get a sense that they were in trouble, at least at this moment. What does that mean? I'm not sure. I have a feeling things are going to get worse before they get better. Much worse. Did you get any, vibes about your son? Marco? Mama Rossi closed her eyes for a few seconds and then opened them again. Nothing. Rashawn took a deep breath. What about my family? Give me your hand. Rashawn placed her hand in Mama Rossi's tiny one. The old woman fixed her dark eyes on Rashawn's for a full minute before saying anything. They are in the kitchen. All three of them. Your mother is asleep in a green leather chair with her feet up. She's holding a young boy in her lap. That's my daddy's green recliner. They must have dragged it into the kitchen from the living room. My mama and little brother nap in it all the time. What was my daddy doing? Playing cards at the table. Solitaire. He always plays when he's steamed or thinking about something. I can't pick up people's thoughts, Mama Rossi said, but I'll bet he's worrying about you. I'll bet he is too, Rashawn said. It's kind of weird that you can see our kitchen without ever having been in it. She took her hand away. But I'm glad they're okay. I'm glad too, Mama Rossi said. Do you think your rice trick fixed the phone? Only one way to find out. Rashawn took the satellite phone out of the plastic bag and snapped in the battery. Here goes nothing. She pressed the button. The orange display came on. No signal, Rashawn said. I don't know much about these things. I wonder if you have to point them at the sky for them to work. She walked over to the small window by Pet's ring, holding the phone out in front of her. Remember the Pet's circus ring. 2 bars. Now, if only we had someone to call. My daddy just has a regular cell phone, and no one's been able to get a cell signal since yesterday. The cell towers were probably damaged because of Emily, Mama Rossi pointed out. Maybe I can hit the redial button and get a hold of Chase's dad, Rashawn said. She didn't have to. The satellite phone rang. 6:19 a.m. What time is it? I don't know, Rashawn said slowly. I don't wear a watch. Sorry. It's a game that Chase and I play. Is this Nicole? Rashawn. Hi, Rashawn. This is John Masters. Can I speak to Chase? He's not here. Where is he? Out trying to find gas for the generator. You mean outside? Yes, sir, with Nicole. It's going to be light soon, and it's not that cold. Why did he go out in the middle of a hurricane to get gas? Sun's not going to shine where we are, even after it comes up. Are you in the basement of the Rossi's house? We're in the barn. There is no house. Emily turned it into sticks. Which barn are you in? The one with Pet. Pet? The elephant. Did you say the elephant? Yeah, you know, the one that's pregnant. She's supposed to have her baby any moment now. Be bad if she had it in the pitch dark. If there was a problem, we wouldn't be able to get the baby away from her. The wind has Pet all agitated, as you can probably imagine, Rashawn concluded matter-of-factly. It's hard for me to imagine any of this. I didn't know the Rossis had an elephant on their farm. It's a circus. It sounds like it. Is Marco there? No, sir. We don't know where he is, and Nicole is sick over it. Chase said you might be able to find him. I can try. Do you know what kind of vehicle he's driving? Just a minute. White Chevy Tahoe. What's the condition of the building you're in? It's holding up, but the wind is slamming into the sides and there's water coming in on one end. The windward side? I guess. How much water? There's 6 inches on the cement, maybe a little more, but most of the barn is dry. What's your backup shelter? Rashawn hesitated. What do you mean? Where are you going to go if the building you're in starts to collapse? I don't know. I'm sure Chase has thought of a backup. I'm sure he has. He's like some kind of storm superhero. He knows exactly what to do. Well, most of the time he does. None of us know what to do about Hector. Who's Hector? The leopard. As in a big cat? Big enough. And he killed Poco. Rashawn, slow down. Who's Poco? Mama Rossi's monkey. Mama Rossi? You don't know much about this farm, do you? Apparently not. So think about that. He left his kid with all these people and he doesn't know them. Mama Rossi is Marco's mom. And she has a monkey? She had a monkey until Hector killed it. Is Mama Rossi there? She's standing right here. You want to talk to her? I guess I'd better. But before you hand the phone over to her, check on the battery level. Hang on, it's in the red. I was afraid of that. There's a charger and a spare battery in Chase's go bag. You mean his backpack? Right. He dumped it after our school bus sank. He stuffed some things in those big pockets he has on his pants, but I don't know what they were. How long has he been gone? I can't say exactly, maybe half an hour. This is my first time on this farm. Chase said something about a shack and a shop. I don't know how far they are from here. It can't be far. You be careful, Rashawn. Let me talk to Mrs. Rossi. You be careful too, Mr. Masters. Nice talking to you. 6:23 a.m. A terrible scream rose above the chattering wind. Chase's knees nearly buckled at the sound. What? Sulfur-crested cockatoo, Nicole said. Nothing, no worry. Watch out! She tackled Chase. A charging ostrich missed them by inches and hit the wall behind them with a loud bang. Nicole was up on her feet and running back to the door before Chase could piece together what had happened. He checked on Brutus, making sure the bear was still worrying the metal panel before getting on his feet and following her. The 200-pound ostrich was thrashing on the cement floor, trying to get up, which was not going to happen because it had 2 broken legs. I hate this hurricane, Nicole said as she dodged the bird's flailing feet. With tears running down her face, she pointed the shotgun at the ostrich and pulled the trigger. Then she walked outside. Chase found her leaning against the wall, sobbing. The shotgun was on the ground at her feet. He picked it up and waited. Nicole wiped her tears on her sleeve. You were right, she said. About what? About the animals. There's nothing we can do to help them in the dark. We need to get the gas and go back to the circus barn. The only animal we can help at this point is Pet. Why don't you go back to the barn, Chase said. I can get the gas on my own. Nicole took the shotgun. She ejected the spent cell and jacked a fresh one into the breech. Not with Simba and Hector running around, you can't. And who knows what else has escaped. We have 4 other lions besides Simba, you know. Yeah, I know, Chase said. You think they're out too? They were in the same barn as Simba. Just the mention of Simba's name sent a chill down Chase's back. Gertrude, the giraffe, she was in that barn too, Nicole continued. At 14 feet, the only way she could have gotten out is if the big door was open. Or if the building collapsed, Chase added. He looked up into the sky. Eventually, this storm's going to pass. I think the winds have already died down. The diving board from the Rossi swimming pool tumbled through the open area before them and disappeared into the dark. Nicole grinned. You were saying? I didn't say the winds had stopped, Chase said. What do you usually do with escaped man-eaters? They aren't man-eaters, but they are potentially dangerous. We've had a few escapes inside the barn, but they've never gotten outside the barn. The important thing now is containment. Containment means keeping them in. We're way past containment. Chase looked out at the Rossi's land. We're in out of control. And this is the end of Quadrant 2.